We've got a really fascinating stack of sources today, and they're all zeroed in on Aries for November.
Mm-hmm.
And the big headline, the promise we're seeing across these documents is about potential big financial shifts.
Yeah, and it's why this deep dive feels pretty necessary, actually, because the material, it's quite nuanced, isn't it?
It seems so.
It's definitely not talking about, like, external luck just falling into your lap.
Hmm.
The data we have directly connects these shifts, these financial ones, to a really intense, almost mandatory period of internal work, internal restructuring.
Okay, so that's the mission then.
Yeah.
For you, the listener, it's about understanding the mechanics, right? The planetary stuff that, according to these sources, doesn't just hint at self-examination.
No, it actively forces it.
Right, forces it. And the core message is, well, it's powerful, but also kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Especially for Aries.
So see.
They're apparently entering this phase of radical recalibration, moving completely away from that usual, high-energy, charge-head style.
Which is huge for Aries. I mean, for a sign whose whole identity is pretty much built on forward momentum action now, this kind of enforced internal focus, it's like the ultimate cosmic stop sign.
Stop sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sources seem to suggest this pause, the strategic pause, it's non-negotiable if you want to unlock that abundance that's supposedly waiting on the other side.
Okay. Let's unpack the source of this pressure then, because this is where the technical details really start to paint a picture.
Yeah.
Aries ruler,
Right.
Mars,
Right.
is retrograde.
Yeah.
And it's doing this backwards dance in Leo, which is dramatic enough, but it's hitting the fifth house.
Yeah, and that combination is where it gets really interesting. Mars is the engine, right? Drive, action. When it goes retrograde, the engine sputters. It loses power, but it's sputtering in Leo, the sign of performance, ego, basking in the spotlight,
Yeah.
And the fifth house governs creativity, self-expression, romance, but also, crucially, things like risk-taking, investments, fun.
So, Mars is action, Leo is ego. A reversal there means the ego itself is kind of forced to look in the mirror.
Re-examine its own performance.
Exactly. The sources suggest this period can literally feel like someone just turned the volume way down on your life. You might feel less confident, maybe less excited about things. Those creative projects that usually feel great, suddenly you hit this frustrating wall.
Yeah.
Or the passion just isn't there.
And that's not just theoretical, is it? It shows up practically.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The data points to real-world examples. Like that side hustle you usually love promoting, suddenly finding the energy for it feels impossible.
Right.
Or maybe a romance enters this phase where you have to really ask, am I in this for a genuine connection, or is it more about the ego boost it gives me?
Oof. Okay.
It's a critical test, the data emphasizes. Are you pursuing things, projects, relationships, whatever, that genuinely light you up from the inside? Or are you just going through the motions for external praise, or because you think you need to for financial reasons? But hang on. Wouldn't that slow down that lack of enthusiasm? Wouldn't that feel financially risky? Especially for Aries, who thrives on momentum. If they stop pushing their work, doesn't the money start?
And that's the critical pivot point in these sources. That's the counterintuitive bit.
Oh.
It argues that the temporary financial risk you might feel by pausing is actually an investment in future quality. It's like, start producing quantity, focus on the quality of your internal state.
I see.
The promised big financial shifts, according to this material, won't come from forcing external progress when your heart's not in it. That won't work now.
Right.
They stem from this deep, authentic internal realignment. So if you're a learner listening to this and you're feeling that creative block or just, the alignment itself is identified as both the cause, your engine is maybe sputtering because it's clogged with ego residue, let's say, and the solution. You've got to clean the engine before you can race again.
I like that metaphor. Cleaning the engine. It suggests the universe isn't just like throwing obstacles in your way. It's also providing some support while this deep cleaning happens.
Exactly. While Mars is forcing that sometimes uncomfortable introspection, there's this wonderfully stabilizing influence working in the background, providing the necessary infrastructure.
And that would be?
That's Jupiter. Jupiter in Cancer sitting right in the fourth house.
Ah, okay. Home, family, foundations.
Precisely. Jupiter is expansion, blessings, good fortune. The fourth house is your home, your roots, your emotional foundation. So this placement is like the necessary anchor while Mars is kicking up storms elsewhere.
So the sources are basically saying while your external life, your performance life, that fifth house stuff is demanding a pause. Your private world, your inner sanctuary is actually getting a boost. Jupiter expands your sense of safety and security there.
That's the idea. And it's not just abstract feeling. The sources point to really practical applications. You might feel the strong, almost irresistible urge to beautify your home. Nesting. Creating that sanctuary.
Or maybe getting support from family.
Exactly. Unexpected emotional or even practical support might just show up from family members. Your home literally becomes the safe space you need to navigate the intensity of that Mars retrograde.
Okay. So if the external world is forcing you to kind of shrink your outward focus for a bit,
Yeah.
Jupiter's making sure your internal base camp is sturdy, safe, nurturing.
That's the energy you draw on, especially when the introspection Mars demands gets, heavy. The home becomes the place where you can actually afford to be vulnerable and honest with yourself.
Got it. So Jupiter provides this comfortable, expanding base camp. But the sources also suggest that base camp is specifically where some other hard work needs to happen, right? It's not just for relaxing.
Correct. We also have Saturn in the mix, Saturn moving through the 12th house.
Okay, the 12th house. Subconscious stuff, endings, hidden matters. Kind of spooky territory sometimes.
It can be. And this is where the rigor comes in. Saturn is the planet of accountability, responsibility, structure, karma even.
Right.
In the 12th house, it demands what the material we looked at calls serious spiritual and psychological house cleaning.
House cleaning again. But this sounds deeper, maybe darker.
It's definitely deeper. If Mars retrograde in the 5th forces you to ask what you truly love, Saturn in the 12th forces you to confront why you stopped pursuing it authentically, or maybe why you let something non-authentic take its place in the first place.
Wow. Okay, so it's about clearing out that old baggage, the hidden fears, the self-sabotaging patterns, the stuff that might be unconsciously blocking the creativity and joy that the 5th house represents.
Exactly that. This isn't easy work, let's be clear. But the sources frame it as absolutely essential for long-term growth. We're talking about potentially confronting things like a deep-seated fear of visibility, the thing that stops you from actually sharing your creative work.
Or maybe, like, letting go of an old grudge, something that's been subtly draining energy.
Perfect example. An old business grudge that's been quietly poisoning your entrepreneurial spirit for years. Saturn here demands you stop repeating old patterns, especially financial mistakes that might be rooted in subconscious beliefs about your own self-worth.
So it clears the decks.
It clears the decks so that when Mars finally does station direct and starts moving forward again, it doesn't immediately trip over all that old toxic debris you just unearthed.
Okay. This combination of forces, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, really is a potent recipe for transformation, isn't it? Yeah. Let's try and connect the dots now, really synthesize this roadmap for the listener, because it sounds like these three complex energies are working together somehow to deliver that financial shift.
Yeah, we can really boil it down to 3 simultaneous mandates based on the sources.
The challenge, that's Mars retrograde. Get brutally honest about your passion and creativity. Is it real? Stop performing for external validation.
Okay, honesty about passion.
Number 2, the support, that's Jupiter and Cancer. Anchor yourself. Build that safe, strong home base emotionally and physically.
Got it. Strong foundation.
And number 3, the clearing. Saturn in the 12th. Systematically identify and eliminate the subconscious baggage, the fears, the self-sabotage patterns that are actively blocking your joy and, by extension, your potential for financial growth.
Challenge, support, clearing. Okay, so if we tie this back to the big promise, the financial picture, the sources seem to be laying out a pretty comprehensive strategy here.
They are.
The temporary trade-off, like slowing down externally, it's presented as a necessity, isn't it? Because you're basically rebuilding the entire engine, the infrastructure of your success from the inside out.
Precisely. The external pause is framed as just a required step for maximum internal gain later on.
And what I find really fascinating looking at the data is how success itself is defined here. It's not, like you said earlier, just a sudden windfall or a lucky break. It's described more as a natural attraction, something that happens after you restore your internal integrity.
Yes. That's a key point in the source material. It predicts that once Mars stations direct, which is still a couple of months away from this November period, Aries will, and I'm quoting loosely here, blast forward.
Blast forward. Sounds like Aries.
Right. With a renewed sense of purpose and a passion that is so authentic and powerful that it will naturally attract the success and financial rewards you are seeking.
Naturally attracts. The financial reward isn't the goal. It's almost a side effect, a consequence of doing the internal work. Spiritual and emotional honesty pays off, literally.
That seems to be the core argument. It's a powerful incentive to actually do that hard, sometimes messy Saturn work.
Yeah. This whole deep dive, it really reveals that sometimes the biggest leaps forward actually require the deepest look inward. We have to stop focusing so much on the performance, maybe, and focus more on the performer.
It's the ultimate reward for doing that difficult self-assessment, which,
Yeah.
raises an important question for you, the learner, as you sit with this data. If Saturn really forced you to look into that 12th house closet this November,
Hmm.
what hidden fear or what specific self-sabotaging pattern, maybe related to risk or money or needing creative validation, what would be the first thing you'd absolutely have to confront?
Wow. That realization, that could be the true starting gun for whatever financial shift is potentially coming, couldn't it?
Could be. That's what the data suggests.
Well, thank you for diving deep with us today. We really hope this analysis gives you, the listener, a bit of a shortcut to being well informed about these complex forces at play. Whether you follow the stars closely or just follow the pretty sound principle of internal alignment leading to external results.